Going hot and cold is Ray Harford's assessment of Albion's displays so far this season. Surely tonight, he says, will be ignited for this one. He's keeping faith with most of the team who were completely off the boil in their last league outing. Indeed, there are just two changes from the side beaten at home by Oxford. At full-back, Paul Holmes is preferred to the less experienced Andy McDermott. And with Andy Hunt having failed to recover from an ankle injury in time, Bob Taylor partners Paul Pesky-Solido up front. No question that Liverpool are taking the competition seriously. Even though England's battle-weary Paul Ince is omitted, it's a strong lineup nonetheless that Roy Evans is fielding. Phil Babb is unfit, but Neil Ruddock is back after injury. There's a place for Jason McAteer, and up front, the manager is looking to Robbie Fowler and Karl-Heinz Riedler as his first-choice combination, with Michael Owen left on the bench. Neil Ruddock returning to the Liverpool side then tonight. He hasn't played since the opening day at Wimbledon when he damaged a knee. The referee in this highly charged atmosphere is Alan Wilkie from Chester Street. A throwback to many a big cup occasion from more successful times at the Hawthorns as Liverpool get us underway, and they're straight on the defensive with Kawaba. A match that's really caught the imagination of the locals here. A full house of around 26,000. Paying record gate receipts, and here's an early chance for Bob Taylor, who'd arrived virtually unattended then in the middle. So nearly a dream start for Albion. Kawama in trouble, Kilban supplying the cross, and Taylor, who is normally so prolific in the air, failing to make contact with the cross. Here's Kilban. Berger scrapping with Hamilton. Played up then by Kawaba, the Norwegian. Here is Patrick Berger. 3 goals, of course, against Chelsea in Liverpool's last league game. Now McAteer. Back in the side tonight. Not on the same wavelength though as Robbie Fowler. Flynn for Albion. Careless pass by him. Here's Steve McManaman. In great form at the moment. There had been a suggestion he might have been rested as well tonight. But Roy Evans deciding to include him from the start. And he is bound to pose many a problem for Albion, who have been a lot tighter defensively this season under Ray Harford. They do seem to be a better organised team. They certainly had a flying start in the league. They topped the table early on, but then had a dreadful lapse against Oxford. They were really poor on that occasion. Berger looking to stretch them now. Great run here by Berger. Miller with the save. And again from Fowler. Brilliant goalkeeping by Alan Miller. Berger with the initial effort, and then Robbie Fowler with the follow-up. Ready to pounce, said Fowler. He was the first to respond. And Miller down with a second save. Cracking start to the game. Here's Berger. Hamilton to steer it away. Just take the heat out of the situation for a moment. Fowler, who's scored 3 times already this season. Of course, he didn't start the campaign because of injury. 3 goals in his first 4 starts. And so nearly another one then. Here's Berger now. Good movement from Liverpool. Really extending Albion. And the header onto the top of the crossbar. Robbie Fowler, who sneaked in at the far post. Good cross by Berger. And no one had really picked up Fowler, and it rebounded off the top of the crossbar. White to Holmes. Teasing James. Corner heading out, and then McAteer to hoof it upfield. The chase is on for Fowler. He seemed to be gaining ground then on Raven. Oh, missed kick by Miller. Just testing. Amazing incident. Raven with the back pass. There seemed to be no danger at all. A complete miscue by Miller. Here's Thomas. Jason McAteer. Now Carragher. McManaman. Here's Berger. Heavily involved early on for Liverpool. Kawama. Then Neil Ruddock. Now pesky Solido. Can he take advantage here of some sloppy play? Pesky Solido's shot. And well saved by David James. He's very, very quick, the Canadian international. Seemed to lose their concentration, Liverpool, and they were nearly made to suffer for it. Turned Kawama inside out then. Here's McManaman, looking very lively in this early phase. Fowler's pass to B.A. Swung over. And the header from Riedler, who's normally so accurate in front of goal. Some way off the target. He'll be disappointed with that. Look at the position he's got into here. And you certainly would have fancied him to, at the very least, strike the target. It's been his trademark down the years. Headers around the 6-yard box. Slipped by Carragher, deceiving Snakers though. Riedler made room for himself then delightfully. He's a class act, Riedler. Here's McManaman in full stride. Wide of him is McAteer. Riedler setting off into the middle. Fowler far post. Shot was from Carragher. Off the post, Riedler. Albion appealing for offside. And there certainly seemed to be a suspicion of that. It was a mishit shot from Carragher, which sneaked through. Well, he looked to be in an offside position there, Riedler. Burgess was left bemused. Riedler's shot, also a miscue really, stabbed against the post. Holmes delivering a rather ambitious pass. An unforced error by Ruddock. Getting the grips with first-team football again, Neil Ruddock, after his spell out injured. Pesky Solido. It's a good challenge by B.A. It's Raven's clearance. And that'll be a corner. There'll be a presence then of Fowler. Such a worry for Raven. Forced him into the error. B.A.'s corner kick. Out by Taylor. Going as far as B.A. again. They let it run through. A wonderful save by Miller. Just managed to flick it round the post. Hit by Ruddock after the little dummy that set him up. Here's B.A.'s cross again, whipped in low. And another athletic save by the goalkeeper. I think the dummy was from Fowler. Hamilton, still they can't clear. Michael Thomas. B.A. Albion's goal under siege at the moment. Thomas. McAteer. Berger out jump. Here's Robbie Fowler. Carragher. Again, good combination play from Liverpool. Can they finish it off? Burgess just in ahead then of Riedler. It's an excellent approach play from Liverpool. Albion were reeling. Just look how they strung their passes together here. Burgess to the rescue. McManaman. McAteer. Ruddock had stayed up. That's B.A. Well, that's best forgotten. Ray Harford, who's been doing his best to play down the occasion tonight. He says getting promotion is the priority. This is just a bonus, a night out for the lads, but of course he wants to win, of course he wants to do well. Ruddock, only one way for him to go. And a lively first half, ends without a goal, but certainly opportunities. Robbie Fowler, who hit the top of the crossbar. Other chances too for Berger and for Karl-Heinz Riedler. Albion gave the odd worrying moment too at the other end, but certainly they had Miller to thank for some very useful saves in this first period. It's goalless though at half-time. It's Albion then who start the second half, and as expected Liverpool have made a change. Jamie Carragher has had to go off injured, and he's been replaced by Norwegian Øyvind Leonardsen, making his debut for the club in midfield. Been out injured, of course, Leonardsen. A £3 million signing from Wimbledon back in the summer. Here's Berger. Now McAteer. Liverpool will certainly be reflecting on the chances they had in the first half. Just that one real scare right at the start of the match. At the other end, otherwise, Liverpool have had the better opportunities. Riedler, who wasted one with a wayward header. McAteer. Dangerous ball played in, but no problem for Miller. Fowler's header comfortably held. Albion hoping to reach the last 16 for the first time since 1989. Also that year they last played a cup tie against a top 16 from the top flight. On that occasion it was Everton, and it was the FA Cup. Pesky Solido, again showing his nimbleness around the goal, but his pass going astray. Thomas, laid on very studiously by Ruddock. Anxious clearly to ease himself back in tonight. This is David Smith. Tidy play by him to find Kilbad. Kuoma's challenge on Taylor, which has gone unpunished. Now Riedler, not through to Berger, offside. Albion felt they should have had a free kick just before that Liverpool move got underway then for Kuoma's challenge on Bob Taylor. And the referee was well placed and unconvinced. Again, intricate passing by Liverpool, but not finding any penetration at the moment. Riedler unable to turn. Kilbad, off goes Pesky Solido. Excellent defending by Ruddock. Very neatly done. Thomas. On by Bjornaby to McManaman. Flying his straight down that left side now. Albion doubling up with Flynn and Holmes. Blocking his path. He got himself out of trouble so neatly. Ball back towards Berger! Liverpool lead, and it's that man Berger again. A hat-trick against Chelsea. McManaman who set this one up. 6 minutes into the second half. No more than they deserve, really. A lot of opportunities carved out in the first half that weren't taken. Fowler, who pulled it back invitingly for Berger, and he delivered it unerringly into the corner. 4 goals in 2 games, and it was McManaman's play that released Fowler. Sweet finish by Berger. Now Lee Hughes is going to come on. A real favourite of the fans, John Truitt. Just having a few words of advice for him there. The 21-year-old who made such an impact when he scored 2 against Crewe back at the start of the season. And he is on for Bob Taylor, who has ever received a very sympathetic round of applause from the Albion fans who admired his contribution so much. in the past. Berger. Fowler. Here is Hughes, the young man they signed from Kidderminster Harriers. His progress was hindered by an injury just after he got into the first team picture. Kilban. Curious header by Ruddock. He was under no real pressure then. Now, can they conjure something up here? Burgess waiting in the middle. Snakers delivering the corner kick. Dobson arriving as well. In goes David Smith now. Just wouldn't sit up for him. Fowler rather over-elaborating. Snakers. Support from Smith. Needs a good cross here. Well claimed though by James. Plucked it out of the air with consummate ease. Berger. Liverpool would certainly welcome the cushion of a second goal, which they will feel their possession warrants. McManaman to Leonardson. Referee waving them on. Bjornaby, now Leonardson, two former Rosenborg players. Third one, of course, in Kuoma. Alan Miller, who'd become fourth choice at Middlesbrough. They must have been well off for keepers there. Snakers. Showing plenty of heart for the battle still. Snakers! That was more like it then from Albion. And from the Dutchman, Richard Snakers. Shaking off the challenge of Thomas. And then lining up the shot at goal. Defenders rather backing off. And he's in it cleanly, but always going well wide. And Laurie Evans will know this game is not yet safe. Shot Flynn to Holmes. Deflected cross. McAteer has managed to hack it away. Now it's Snakers. Liverpool big press back here. Kilban away from Berger and from McAteer. Just flicked out by James, who was at full stretch. Albion mounting serious pressure now. Kilban, a great little run by him. Hughes unmarked in the centre. If only he could have found him there. As it was, James managed to palm it out. Hughes is near post. Kilban chipping it in. It's Hamilton. Dobson. Smith to Snakers. Not just a thought about a shot for a moment. Burgess crowded out. Holmes, no room for error there. Smith. The game really igniting now. Albion striving for an equaliser. Here's Kilban. Now will he go at McAteer here? He's got plenty of confidence. Kilban again. The header, oh, from Hughes! Superb stop by James. Hughes unlucky. That looked to be heading for the corner. Kilban with the cross. In goes Hughes. And James somehow kept it out. Great anticipation by the goalkeeper. Hughes so nearly wrote a headline for himself there. Well, he has his critics, David James, but make no mistake, he remains an outstanding goalkeeper. Hughes. Kilban. Hughes again. This is promising for Albion. Can they finish it off? Snakers! James is there. That took a deflection on the way, but it still didn't unnerve David James, who got his body right behind the shot. Struck with some venom by Snakers, but you can see it almost changed course there. It's a flicked, I think, off Leonardson. McManaman, that's a great ball. Thomas letting it run on for Leonardson, who's turned sharply. The touch off to Fowler! A brilliant finish from Robbie Fowler. And maybe now that has finished any hopes that Albion had of a comeback in this second half. It's been a brave show by them. But this is a chilling finish by Fowler. And surely now that's put this tie beyond them. Leonardson involved in the build-up with Rieler. That's a deft touch off there by the German. And no mistake from Robbie Fowler, who pounces with typical venom. 2-0 to Liverpool. And we're inside the last minute. Robbie Fowler's fourth goal since returning to the team after injury. And he's, well, started now 5 in a row. So the goals are flowing again from him. It's a safe passage then to the last 16 for Liverpool. And every chance you would feel that they might go all the way this year, given the strength they have in depth. Albion certainly gave it their best shot with an excellent second half. The class and a little extra know-how told in the end, the goals from Patrick Berger and then Robbie Fowler to seal their victory. The final score at the Hawthorns is West Bromwich Albion 0, Liverpool 2.